This is the scene that got Gumball banned in over 8 countries.
What the?
And this is a horrifying bootleg episode Cartoon Network will never air.
I am not affiliated with the disappearance of Darwin.
There's a lot more below the surface when it comes to the character of Gumball Watterson. And I mean that literally. You get it? Because icebergs are in water, and so there's stuff below the surface of the water. Gumball Watterson Iceberg time. Be warned, some of these levels get kinda disturbing. Let's get going with level 1, the tip. Up first, Gumball's real name. Yeah, this one came as a shock to me, a guy who's seen this entire series multiple times over, but it's true. Even as far back as season 2, there's been hints that Gumball is just a nickname.
And I promised JJ that I'd help him out.
You've got nicknames now, JJ? Better friends with him than me. Why don't I have a nickname?
So if Gumball is just his nickname, then the real question is, what's his actual name? Well, we finally actually get the big reveal in the episode fittingly titled, The Name. In the episode, Gumball manages to snag the high score at an arcade machine, but can't find his way to say Gumball with just 3 letters, meaning he's gotta work with his real name instead. One issue.
Why don't you use your real name instead of your nickname?
Wait, what is it?
What kind of guy doesn't know his own name?
You don't know it either, do you?
Well, he's in the same boat as all of this. 3 whole seasons, and we still had no idea what our main character's real name was. Is that a record of some kind? Anywho, after Gumball goes on his expected long-winded speech about how he'll journey to the ends of the earth to find out his real name, he gets his answer in the least exciting way possible.
He did what had to be done to find out his real name. And me in history books, they will say,
Your real name? It's Zach.
Yeah, I suppose we didn't need to go on a history-making journey to figure that out. Could've just gone to the person who gave you your name in the first place. Honestly, it's still weird to me that we learned Gumball's name so late in the series. We got this kid's middle name before this, all the way back in season 1. Oh, you don't remember? Let me jog your memory.
My name is Gumball Trisha Watterson. Trisha is my middle name.
Yeah, that little piece of cyberbullying gave us Trisha. And yes, Gumball was gifted that name by exactly who you'd expect.
What's wrong with it? It's short for Christopher. Christopher. Same thing, right?
Richard, I thought we agreed on Christopher.
You know, maybe the Gumball nickname was all just to distract from that utter mistake of a decision. I wouldn't blame the kid. But names aren't the only area where Gumball's been facing an identity crisis over the years. As some of you may know, Gumball's voice changes throughout the series. A lot. First, take a look at this super early clip of him from the series' first pilot clip.
Ready to taste freedom! Woo-hoo!
We'll talk a bit more about the design later, but notice that voice. Doesn't sound anything like the Gumball we know and love, huh? In fact, he kinda sounds more like...
Run! Hey, are those cookies? I made them for you.
Yeah, that's Nicky Jones playing Gumball, the guy who plays Chowder, but he didn't last long, getting replaced in season 1 with Logan Grove.
The kids you decided to have. Yep, no problem, Mom. I'll take it back.
Now, there's a voice I'm comfortable with. Sure hope this doesn't change by the start of season 3.
It's hard to say. I guess that's the good thing about being fat. It fills out all the wrinkles.
Yeah. He sounds more like Phineas than Gumball. Looks like puberty struck Logan like a truck. But funnily enough, the series dedicated an entire episode to Gumball and Darwin grappling with their voices getting deeper, until eventually...
Soon we can drive, go to college, and we both go...
Say hello to Jacob Hopkins, the 3rd Gumball. Now say goodbye to Jacob Hopkins, and hello to Nicholas Cantu.
That'll teach them for trying to replace us.
Yeah, we're irreplaceable. Yeah, as if anyone else could do what I do.
Cantu would stick around for the rest of the series until it got picked up again for the wonderfully weird world of Gumball, where the character is now voiced by Alcaio Thiele.
Hello?
Hey man, sorry I had to call. I just can't sleep by myself up here.
That is a lot of voice actors. This cat is anything but consistent. Which brings us to our next segment. As our last little bit of the very tip of the iceberg, let's talk about Gumball's original designs. A lot of people have seen that original pilot clip that was seen earlier. In it, Gumball looks pretty off considering his appearance throughout the rest of the series. An orange jacket, a boxier head, a much scribblier design, but still no shoes, of course. But if you think that this was the first design of Gumball for the series, you'd be mistaken. At one point, this blue cat wasn't even a cat at all. This is very likely the first design of Gumball. Or maybe his dad? Apparently both characters were originally drawn as blue dogs, not cats. Thank God they didn't go with that. It's too cursed for me to handle. Truthfully though, these were only placeholder designs, and the real design for Gumball ended up being, well, not this either. Black Cat Gumball. We're close, but not quite there. Apparently the showrunners were worried about having a purely black cat against darker backgrounds in the show, and so eventually they settled on a blue cat as the main character. And after some tweaks to the pilot version of the character, we got the brown sweater-wearing blue cat that we know and love. And then one season later, there was a slight redesign, and then again after another season, because nothing is sacred. I'll miss you, Season 1 Gumball designs. But now, we've officially covered the tip of the iceberg. From there, things are gonna get even weirder, covering some facts and theories that could completely change our view on this blue dog, cat. Time to move to the center. Heads up, this next segment is dark. The Grieving is a pretty famous creepypasta based entirely around a lost Gumball episode that deals with the death of Darwin. According to the original creepypasta, it starts with the family being uncharacteristically sad, with Nicole and Richard in all-black funeral attire, Anais crying, and Gumball sitting silently in an empty classroom. Eventually, things jump forward to Principal Brown's office, where he explains Darwin was freaking murdered. Anais somehow also got murdered shortly after, and Gumball, well, he couldn't handle the tragedy. Good lord. There have been a lot of fan creations of this lost episode over the years, and none of them skimp on the gore or grotesqueness of it all, don't you worry. And if for some reason you wanted to play through this tragic tale in a goddamn Friday Night Funkin' mod of all things, well, the option is there. I'll judge you for it, but if that's your jam, go for it, I guess. The weirdest part of this all is the fact that the creepypasta got so popular that the show actually made reference to it in an episode, with the scene even getting its own dedicated video uploaded to the official Cartoon Network YouTube channel.
You are about to see the first real footage from a lost episode called The Grieving. You have been warned.
Best bait and switch of all time right there. But that's not the only online horror we have to talk about. Let's talk about the amazing world of shipping. I'll make this quick, I promise. A lot of fans of this series have headcanons for who Gumball should be in love with instead of Penny. I hate myself for saying those words. There's Gumrob, which is just Gumball and Rob being a couple.
I look forward to being your enemy again in the future.
Goodbye.
Fair enough, I guess. There's Carball? I'm sorry, what? Carrie and Gumball?
That was from Darwin. That was from Penny. That was from Carrie.
I mean, to each their own, I guess. If you really want to draw fan art of these ships and write 100-page fanfics, be my guest, but the writers may poke fun at you for it.
Okay.
I know, right? I mean, future me wearing sandals?
You're gonna steal Carrie from me! It's supposed to be Carwin!
I think the writers for this show are as chronically online as I am. That's a little inspiring, at least. Maybe someday I can make my own series that's as good as Gumball. I'm lazy. And I bet the writers found out about this little gem through the internet as well. Behold! The amazing world of Chi-Chi! Or Miracle Star, if you want to go by its real name. Yep, that little goat guy named Chi-Chi is a blatant ripoff of Gumball, and the writers knew exactly what to do when they found out about him. Make an entire episode dedicated to thrashing him.
Wait, this isn't funny at all. I mean, these guys have their own TV show, and they're ripping us off.
This goat kid is a literal Temu ripoff, and much like many other Temu ripoffs, he, and the rest of his family, ended up bursting into flames. So along, Chi-Chi. You won't be missed, probably. But now, it's time to go even deeper. Let's move on to level 3. Surface level. Gumball having a fear of spiders probably shouldn't surprise anyone. As far back as season 1, he's got more than enough reason to have arachnophobia for life.
Come here, little fella.
Oh, good boy, Mr.
I don't care what the internet says, I'll never let a tarantula bite me. Those things look deadly, and I refuse to believe they aren't. But yeah, the episode to date has Gumball mistake Penny inviting him over to her place as her asking him on a date, when in reality she asked if he could visit the funeral for her pet, Mr. Cuddles, who just so happened to be a tarantula who was flushed down the toilet, who just so happened to be not dead, which just so happened to lead to this.
Get off!
And in the end, Gumball is freaking hospitalized because of this thing. If an experience like that isn't enough to cause arachnophobia for you, well, then you're broken. But I guarantee you'd have it if you went through something like this on top of that.
What's going on with the lights? Where is he?
Yeah, Ocho, the hot-headed 8-bit spider classmate of Gumball's at Elmore Junior High, just straight up kills Darwin in front of Gumball. Granted, the fight follows video game logic, so Darwin actually still has 2 lives, but even watching a friend be blown to bits once would give me a bad view on spiders for the rest of my life. Fat Gumball. You've probably seen this image of Gumball, complete with a neck beard, lurking somewhere on the internet before. Well, in case you had any doubts, yes, it's a real image from the show.
Dreamers, it's Dolly Boy 1923, aka Pixel Donkey.
And yes, that name is most likely a reference to the YouTube channel Video Game Donkey, even though Donkey isn't a movie reviewer and Fat Gumball is.
I just got back from seeing Stellar Odyssey: The Force Rehashed. So refreshing to see less CGI space battles and more sock puppets.
A lot of people also think that this was a parody of the YouTuber Boogie2988 and his character Francis. And yeah, I mean, I can kinda see it. Alright, I take that back. I can definitely see it. Both Gumball and Francis's walls are coated in nerd garbage. Dead giveaway right there. Junkie Janker. This one's kinda a doozy, so I'll keep it brief. Remember Nicholas Cantu from earlier, one of the voice actors for Gumball? Yeah, for a little bit back in 2019, he was a streamer / YouTuber, and was pretty famous for this clip in a Minecraft survival multiplayer.
Pending? Very cool. I will eliminate the middle class. Thank you for attending.
All I've got to say is that YouTube in 2019 was a very interesting time, especially for Minecraft YouTubers. But maybe the voice actor for Gumball jokingly threatening to eliminate an entire class of people isn't enough for you. Well, how about his meltdown where he just starts blasting another Minecraft YouTuber? Dream.
Alright, so that's why. You're really cool, Dream. I still want to fight you. And all that's happened tonight, it's not going to make it like brutal marauder. I'm not going to be a brutal marauder. I'm going to literally either you're going to be paralyzed or you're going to be dead.
Hopefully hearing Gumball swear and threaten murder didn't ruin your childhood. Cartoon Network probably wants you to forget about this, but I'm forced to remember. I'll always be forced to remember. Ah! From here, we're only getting deeper and deeper. Next up is level 4, Shallow Waters. Gumball may have the same abilities as his mother. Now, I think if you're a fan of Gumball, you're more than well aware of just how strong Nicole can be when she's angry. That man just saw the lifespan of the entire universe flash before his eyes. Clearly, she's a force to be reckoned with. And I mean, how can you not be when you literally have anime powers? But the interesting thing is, Gumball has also been shown to have some of these same attributes as his mother. For instance, even back in the very first episode of the series, we're able to see just how fast Nicole can sprint across the neighborhood.
Dare run away from your mother!
She may be a blue cat, but at that speed, she might as well have cheetah prints. But that isn't something that's exclusive to her. Take a look at how fast Gumball's sprinting in this clip.
That was the worst idea you've ever had!
That kid's blazing past houses like Sonic the Blue Cat Hog. But what about Nicole's monster mode we saw earlier? Does Gumball have that? Well, need I remind you what happens when Gumball starts to feel jealousy?
Oh, Leslie, what would I do without you? No, it's not like that.
No, it's not.
Like mother, like son. Oh, and if you're wondering if Gumball has an anime form like his mom as well, stick around for a deeper portion of the Iceberg. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, so apparently there's a banned episode of Gumball in Russia, The Slap. And it's all thanks to Gumball wanting Tobias to slap his butt.
Hey.
You know, this actually falls right in line with Gumball's character. Tobias slaps everyone else's butt in this episode for some reason, so Gumball, ever the narcissist, just won't give up until Tobias gives him the same treatment.
Dude.
Well, if that isn't concerning, then maybe Gumball's entire song about wanting Tobias to slap his ass is.
But it has feelings, so do I. But I feel bad for my hiney, who would gently touch my rear. I'll just give up and cry.
So, yeah, can you guess why Russia banned this one? If even something is slightly not hetero, it's out the window over there, I guess. Kinda lame if you ask me, but I digress. And hey, speaking of not hetero, there's an implied joke in the episode The Hug. Wow! I'd say it's groundbreaking, but you know, I think it's more horrendously awkward than anything else. Obviously, they didn't actually do anything, but oh my god, the fact the writers went for this joke. Why wasn't this episode banned in Russia? Actually, upon further research, it looks like this one was banned in the Middle East, and so was the slap. Some folks just can't take a joke, I suppose. Babies. But yet again, we're going even deeper, and getting even nicher, as we hit level 5, the depths. Baby Gumball has actually been retconned. Yeah, this is honestly kinda shocking. I will never forget the episode The Choices. Such a touching story about how Richard and Nicole met. It always made me tear up. Hey, I'm a man, I'll admit it. You cried too. Don't you lie to me. However, most importantly for this segment, the episode gives us a little glimpse at Baby Gumball. Disregard Richard breastfeeding real quick. Gumball looks adorable. What a cute little baby right there. One issue, that's not at all what he's supposed to look like. Yeah, sorry to be that guy, but allow me to show you a clip from the season 2 episode, The Treasure. As much as I want those pictures to burn, unfortunately, that's the first footage of Baby Gumball in the series. What this means is either A, Gumball's head morphed into that hellish structure shortly after being born, and then reverted back to normal after a while, or B, the writers just forgot about this one-off bit and decided to make Baby Gumball the cutest creature in existence, because why wouldn't you do that for an episode that's already so wholesome and sweet? Personally, I'm going with option B, and for the record, I'll probably stick with cute Baby Gumball as the canonical version of the cat in my eyes. Though, every time I close them, I still see ugly Gumball. Ugh. Finally, it's time I bring out maybe my favorite bit of Gumball lore. Remember how earlier I was talking about how Gumball and Nicole have the same powers? And said that Gumball did in fact have an anime form? Well, it's more than just any old anime form. Take a look at this clip from The Pest.
Let's go!
Gumball just straight up goes Super Saiyan. That's pretty much confirmation he's one of the strongest characters in fiction. I'd say it's just a gag, but again, look at what his mom has done in anime form. This is just genetics at its finest. And considering all the stuff Gumball has survived over the years, it'd make sense that he has that strength of a Saiyan. But as ultra powerful as he may be, he couldn't resist what happened in our next segment. Did you know that there was a time where a bunch of hackers took over Cartoon Network and, well, for a lack of a better word, cock-blocked Gumball? Yeah, you heard that right. Take a look.
I'd love to.
Our journey to victory has begun! Death to the MPLA!
Hope the kids who watched TV that day enjoyed their dosage of Black Ops 2, because I'm sure their moms wouldn't have let them play the game. Ugh, who am I kidding? I heard voice chat in that game, and it was mostly 10-year-olds cursing at me. Also, as famous as that clip is, unfortunately, it's not real. But with the YouTube video showing the VHS footage sitting at about 15 million views, it's kinda hard to see the original scene from the party and not think of the fake hack. Next up, Gumball is destined for hell. This one is actually pretty dark. The episode The Rival is another flashback episode and shows how a young Gumball and Darwin deal with a fresh out of the womb Anais. You may think with how typically timid Anais can be, it wouldn't be all that bad. Heck, I thought that too. But then this scene happened.
I think you had a little accident. It's just my heart. Sweet, she's giving me cavities.
Oh. That's a demon baby. That is a demon baby. Bust out the holy water, please. But despite that wee little outburst, the two still try their best to bond with their new sister and introduce her to some games that they could all play together. In this case, hide and seek.
Okay, we close our eyes and count, and you hide. This one is called hide and seek. 1, 2, 3, ready or not?
Honestly, I wouldn't have just had a heart attack. My heart probably would have freaking exploded right then and there. But the interesting thing is that while Darwin's soul started flying up, when we cut back to Gumball, he was grabbing at the ground. Meaning, yes, he was going to hell. The oddest bit about all of this, though, is that this is Kid Gumball we're talking about here. This is before anything having to do with how he's harassed Mr. Robinson, caused chaos at Elmore Junior High, or ruined Larry's entire life. And still, nope, sorry kid, you're going to hell. Does this mean that Gumball is inherently evil? Probably, I guess. I'd believe it at least. Speaking of hell, let's go even deeper. It's time for level 6, Dark Waters. Gumball simulation theory. It's a sentence that many of you may groan at because simulation theories sometimes just do that for people. But I promise you, this one kind of makes a bit of sense when you think about it. So you know how earlier we were talking about how Gumball's name was really Zack, but he just had no memory of it? Well, that may seem like nothing more than just a little gag, but in reality, it could clue into bigger things at play. Let's think back to the episodes The Disaster and The Rerun. This two-parter actually points to the entire series being a simulation of some sort. In fact, Rob basically hints at this in the most direct way possible in it.
You being the hero of all this?
What are you talking about?
But I never wanted to be the villain. Can't you see that none of this is real? You really don't get it, do you? So happy to star in your amazing world.
And what's more, when Gumball gets his hand on the Universal Remote, he accidentally does this.
Luke, press the remote! Actually, that's pretty bad.
I have no idea what type of simulation he'd have to be in to allow Gumball to shift into another channel, but whatever it is, it's something advanced. As the final piece to this puzzle, I'm gonna remind you of this pretty scary scene from the final episode of the original series.
What are you doing to them?
Fixing them, and their transformation is almost complete.
Keep in mind, by the end of that episode, we find out that the human dude behind all of these human transformations is actually Rob. And when his plan fails and he's left in the rubble...
Transformation is the only chance they have of escaping to the other place.
Yeah, pretty dark. So what's going on here? Well, the simulation theory states that at the beginning of the series, Rob is trying to help everyone escape the simulation by being human before it collapses in on itself. Some people, like Nicole, have actually been aware that they're in this reality, hence why she knew Gumball's real name, but didn't want to scar her kids' brains by revealing the full truth about the real world. At the end, because people didn't change, the simulation has finally started to cave in on itself, and potentially be forced to reboot, hence the really weird opening of the new season. So, what's the fate of Zack and everyone else who's being imprisoned in the Elmore simulation? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Gumball is a shapeshifter. This little tidbit actually has a lot of evidence, as crazy as it sounds. So we all know that cartoon characters squash and stretch. It's been a thing since the very beginning of cartoons, and is regarded as one of the fundamentals of animation. My point exactly. However, Gumball sometimes takes this to the next level. Like, for instance, look at this clip from the episode The Secret.
Sandwich. Good, great, what?
I don't know if I've ever seen a cartoon character manage to split off into a bunch of little droplet versions of themselves like that. Gumball's gotta have more than a little control over his body to be able to do something like that. And that's just the beginning of Gumball's shapeshifting abilities. How about the time he visits Penny's dad at work for the day in the episode The Apprentice? When Gumball figures out that one of the reasons Mr. Fitzgerald doesn't want him with his daughter is because of Gumball's bad genes, Gumball does this. That is a genetic abomination right there. Gumball's shapeshifting is giving even Penny a run for her money. Those two are really made for each other, huh? I bet you they have the same favorite movie, John Carpenter's The Thing. But old heads will get that one. But finally, we've reached the final level of the iceberg. Level 7, the Abyss.
Zeus, your son has returned!
Let's start things off with maybe the scariest bit of Gumball lore out there, Gumball's Fantastic Land, a fan animation that managed to get Nicholas Cantu to legitimately voice Gumball again. Though, if this is the same cat I grew up loving as a kid, I'm scared.
Do you know anything, Gumball?
I am not affiliated with the disappearance of Darwin.
You know, as terrifying as that is, it could very well be the real Gumball. He's still shapeshifting after all. Anywho, apparently Gumball banished Darwin to some shadow dimension after he ate his cereal. A little harsh, I'd say. But even with clear footage of the crime, Gumball just won't fess up.
I am not affiliated with the disappearance of Darwin.
That's nightmare fuel enough for me to believe anything he says. As long as he leaves me alone, please. Don't hurt anyone else.
We know what you did. We can talk about this and work it out together.
I am not affiliated with the disappearance of Darwin. Any other questions?
Sweet Jesus, Nicole is dead! Oh my god! Moving on from that horrifying bit of fan-made lore to the real stuff. The clown wants to kidnap Gumball. You know, until I started doing research for this video, I really didn't know much about this clown guy. But then I started to dig in, and in the process, terrified myself. Something is just wrong about this guy. I mean, his first appearance is just after Gumball and Darwin draw portraits of one another. And after Gumball realizes that the clown wasn't just something that Darwin added to the drawing for fun, he reveals why he's stalking the boys.
Dude, we were supposed to be doing the scary clown through a windfall.
Supposedly, he's just there on behalf of the boy's mom to take out the trash. Supposedly. But here's my question. Why on earth would Nicole trust some weird, creepy clown dude to go to her house and check on her unattended kids? I'm getting some weird vibes from this dude, and it's just his first time showing up. But then, as if that isn't off-putting enough, we've gotta mention the Gumball Chronicles episode, The Curse of Elmore. It's revealed that throughout the entire series, the clown has been watching the kids of Elmore, lurking in the shadows for years, and he never said a word. But in the end, the clown reveals his darkest secret yet.
Go on.
Happy Halloween!
Classic double twist!
Tobias? Really? I refuse to believe that. And maybe I don't have to. See, Tobias's clown mask had black eyes with white pupils, but if you go back and look at some of those clips, the clown sometimes has entirely white, milky eyes. So why would Tobias have two masks with different eyes? It doesn't make sense. Unless there was another clown lurking around and stalking kids like Gumball, ready to pull him away from society when the moment is just right. I mean, some believers of this theory feel the only reason he hasn't pounced is because the audience is watching him. And if that's the case, for Gumball's safety, I guess I can never stop watching this series. Ooh, spooky. Guess I'll have to put my binging of the new King of the Hill season on hold for now. Gumball's life comes first. And with that, that's all I've got for today. Let me know what Gumball theories and lore you know in the comments, and click the vid on screen for some more cartoon goodness. Have a good one!